to the bar, had a drink, and then came back to our room. There's this other convention for burlesque going on, and we were like, well, where's ours? What's going on here? So we came back to our room, we had kind of decompressed, and we were just about to head out and go on a hunt to go find them and see about, doing a walkthrough or just seeing if we are at the right hotel.
Right, because we honestly weren't sure for a minute there.
Yeah, and as fortuitous as Hecate's torches guiding, we opened the door, and there is the festival coordinator who we are working with, Belladonna, just like right there outside our door.
She was.
And then they knock on the door right across the hall from us, directly across our room. And it's Selena Fox's room. The Reverend Selena Fox is literally right across the hall from us. Like, I can't believe it.
I know.
I cannot believe it.
Like, if we were 13-year-olds, we could ding-dong ditch her.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do that.
No, but that's how close she is.
But the fact that she's close enough to do that.
Hey witches, blessed new moon in Scorpio, and welcome to an all-new episode of Spelling the Hekate with Marcus and Evan. I'm Marcus James, as always, author, activist, witch, and defiant homosexual.
And I am Evan Freeman Casey. I am a practicing witch, a legal assistant, a fiction editor, and a lipstick lesbian.
If you are new here, welcome. We are so happy to have you. If you are returning to be with us, welcome back. And as always, we thank you and bless you for being with us. If you like what you see, you enjoy it, you want more of it, we could really just, of course, use support. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and help us to continue to build our beautiful, baneful, and blessed coven right here in our corner of the circle.
Where we are two homos, one cauldron, and it is always a spellbindingly good time.
Absolutely. Now, you are wondering, for those of you who are returning with us as always, why are you yet again not at your table? What is going on? Well,
we just wanted to mess with you.
Yeah, no, we just got back from the Hekate-Sickle Festival. It's been chaos. Of course, that's what this episode is all about. We're gonna share the whole weekend with you.
Exactly.
But chaos. And I, unfortunately, in preparing for this preparing for the festival and just everything,
yeah,
I didn't get my Halloween decor put away. Now all my bags from the trip are all over the dining room. So still not usable. So we are here in my living room.
We are, where we are cozy.
Where we are cozy. And, we've been here before. You've been here before with us. So
exactly.
It's all right. Yeah, so we're Hekate-Sickle Festival, insane.
Yes, oh my gosh. Insanity in the best way. It was so much fun.
Yeah, we met so many amazing people that you are now going to have the pleasure of meeting. Selena Fox, just a legend, an icon, and got to spend so much amazing time with her. Some amazing things happened to us at ATC, at the aquariantabernaclechurch's festival, the Hekate-Sickle Festival, and we're like, ATC, well, they're the people who throw it, and they're just an amazing legal arm of the neo-pagan, Wiccan, paganism, witchcraft, heathen, just in general, occult community. Most of the people who I guess would identify as people of ATC would be Wiccan, but the thing that they really tried to stress to us while we were there this weekend was how it is not Wiccan, in terms of it's not specifically about Wicca, and everything they represent is all pagans.
Yes, which I actually did not know before this weekend.
Yeah, I had more of an inkling, but I still kind of thought it was more like Wicca specific,
right?
And that even the law was more Wicca specific than paganism.
I did too.
So, we learned new things.
We did.
And so now you get to learn new things with us.
And we made so many wonderful connections with our community, and we're so excited to share them with you today.
Belladonna Laveau, Dusty.
Yes, Dusty.
Oh gosh, Tiari, the dancer who is just also hosts a witches ball in Portland. That I guess is off the hook. She was off the hook. She's a new
really
friend.
She's wonderful.
Manny with the Wild Hunt, who often when we show, often many of our headlines, as you guys know, come from the Wild Hunt and that you see flash on the screen. But what you don't know is so many of the articles that we feature and that we source when we report from the Wild Hunt are often written by Manny.
Oh, yes.
So it was just such an honor to finally meet him in person. All in all, it was just such a beautiful experience, so we can't wait to share it with you.
Yes.
What else do we have on the agenda? So witchcraft in the news, obviously, and then Hekate Sickle Festival. We have a very special treat in the show. We have the tribute video to Selena Fox that was at the Gala Banquet Awards dinner at the Hekate Sickle Festival for you guys to see. So that's really awesome. And then, of course, Witchy Media Review. But first and foremost, let's get into witchcraft in the news.
Let's do
Van,
it.
you will kick us off this time.
All right. Well, let me put my newscaster glasses on. Just kidding, I don't have glasses.
You do not.
I do not. Okay, so I will go ahead and get us started. So my first story is a little bit of a bittersweet story. It is a...
We'll show you that later.
I will.
Go on.
Okay. It is kind of a positive story that's happening, however, tempered by the fact that this has only happened after many, many years of violence against witches.
Oh.
So, this comes out of Bhubaneswar, India. As always, apologies on any mispronunciations.
Yes.
So amid a rise in sorcery-related violence and reports of at least 50 killings related to witchcraft accusations every year, the state government decided to overhaul its decade-old witch hunting law.
Okay.
So basically, is kind of cracking down on violence and killings of witches and just allegations of witchcraft.
Right.
According to reports, in the last 12 years, within...
Excuse me, Jesus, sorry. Go on, I'm sorry.
You're fine. So according to the reports, over the last 12 years, including 12 districts, there have been at least 606 people killed in witchcraft-related incidents. The draft amendment that just recently happened suggests making punishment for people who commit crimes related to witchcraft accusations to be more stringent.
That would be nice.
Yeah, including invoking provisions of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which was enacted in 2023 for cases leading to death or imprisonment of 7 years to life for abetment of suicide through witch branding.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. And a minimum of 5 to 10 years imprisonment with fines up to, and there's also going to be a minimum of 5 to 10 years imprisonment with fines up to 500,000 rupees, which would equate to roughly $5,000 US, for acts of public humiliation, such as stripping and parading victims naked and things like that.
Yeah.
It's good to see that this is happening, but again, it's kind of tempered by the fact that it is so out of control that this had to be tempered, you know? That this is something that needed to be cracked down on because it's legitimately getting so out of control with people who are witches or who are even accused to be witches.
Yeah, or just even accused.
You know, as we know, an accusation does not necessarily a witch make.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And that has been the case throughout the centuries, of course.
And sadly, most of the time, they're not witches.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really nice to see that this is happening, but I do want to stress that the excitement of that is tempered by so many years of pain, not only for witches, but for anyone accused of witchcraft.
Yeah. But at least something is being done about it.
Yeah.
So, in lighthearted news to alleviate from that slightly good news, but also not good news because it's sad.
Yeah.
The black hat worn by Margaret Hamilton as the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz from 1939 is going up for auction, obviously just in time for Wicked for Good.
Yes.
So this is being put up by Heritage Auctions, and they're putting it up for sale. It is a wool hat, and it's quite large. It's nearly 14 inches high with a 19.5-inch diameter brim.
Wow.
Right? It also has a 22-inch elastic chin strap worn by Hamilton during flying scenes to keep it secure. It was designed by costume designer Adrian Adolph Greenberg, who went by Gilbert Adrian professionally. The hat was put to use after filming began because the one originally chosen didn't appear scary enough.
Oh.
When Dorothy Gale becomes Dorothy of Oz, it's when she puts on the ruby slippers, said Joe Mandolena, EVP of Heritage Auctions. When the Wicked Witch becomes the Wicked Witch, she puts on that hat. So it's this transformational moment of the birth of the witch. I think the importance of the hat is just incredible. It's on par with the slippers. I would absolutely fucking agree.
Oh, agreed. Yes.
Just like I would say the crown or the gown of Glinda. But I would say the ruby slippers and the hat. Well, no, just the ruby. I would say so. The ruby slippers and the hat, really, and the gifts, the medal, the diploma, and the heart. Those were all things of transformation.
Yes.
Because even the three of them became who they are and who they were meant to be through the symbolism of those items,
exactly.
those talismans. Heritage will hold the auction December 9th and 10th, both online and at its Dallas headquarters. Also hitting the auction block are The Wizard of Oz book signed by Garland, who also wrote a lengthy inscription. It has autographs by other main cast members, including Toto's actual paw prints.
Oh, that's fun.
The book was gifted to the daughter of Garland's on-set tutor at the time. 2 different versions of Dorothy's ruby slippers will be auctioned. One, a right foot shoe worn by Garland during rehearsals, is adorned with crimson burgundy glass bugle beads. A replica of the ruby slippers made by Western Costume Company for the film's 50th anniversary will also be for sale. The latter were made using Garland's original shoe form and have red sequins and rhinestone bows. These shoes, said Mandolena, are as close as you're ever going to get to owning a pair of ruby slippers that weren't screen used. A handwritten letter written by Oz author L. Frank Baum on personal stationery and an organza blouse worn on screen by Garland will also be up to sell. The blouse has a tag with Judy Garland handwritten on the label.
Wow.
Last year, Heritage sold a different pair of ruby slippers from the film for $28 million.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder what the hat's gonna start at.
Oh my gosh, I know.
That is crazy. If only we had the money.
I know. Well, you know, I do have a very large witchy hat.
Yes, I mean, yes, so do I.
Yes. I have this one. It's kind of a very like wide brim like that, and it's got like a piece of black ribbon hanging down. It's really cute.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing that I could really only use to like take a photo in. It's too large to be
practical,
like workable if I'm just trying to live life.
Sure.
Like, I couldn't go to anything in this. But it is cute. So maybe that's my version of this.
There you go.
So back to a very, very sad and awful story. This comes out of Bayelsa, Nigeria.
Okay.
The Commissioner of Police in Bayelsa State, Francis Idu, has confirmed the arrest of a police inspector, Sunday Ide, for allegedly brutalizing his 3 children over allegations of witchcraft.
Fuck, that's gross.
Yeah. So he is attached to the anti-cultism unit of the Igbo Guinea Police Unit. And reportedly, he assaulted his children over allegations of being members of a witchcraft group.
Oh, okay.
He has been arrested, and the investigation is still currently ongoing. According to eyewitnesses, several concerned neighbors who noticed the assault quickly alerted operatives of Operation Dur Akpor, who rescued his children and took them to hospital for treatment.
Okay.
So, again, I'm glad that his children got out.
Yeah.
However, I can't imagine what is going on in your mind and the disconnect to be able to do that to your own children.
I know.
Because you believe that they are witches.
I know, it's fucked up.
It really
so
is.
fucked
It's awful.
up. Yeah,
And
fuck
again,
that guy.
one of those
Fuck that guy.
situations where nothing in the facts that we have available so far would suggest that the children actually are witches.
Right. Well, and to speak to just like how deep the fear and the hatred for witches and witchcraft is, or anything as anti-Christian, heathen, that you're willing to brutalize your own fucking children.
Exactly.
Like, there's special things that should happen to you for doing that.
Yes.
So off to Zambia. So Zambia criticizes occult themes in Nollywood and seeks to learn from Nigeria's values charter. So I get it, like Nollywood, Bollywood.
I get it.
The Zambian government has expressed concern over the recurring themes of rituals, occultism, and superstitions in Nollywood movies, noting that they have a potential to influence young audiences. Of course. This came to light during a meeting between officials of Nigeria's National Orientation Agency, or NOAA, led by Director General Malam Lanre Isa Anyelu, and a delegation from the Zambian High Commission in Abuja, headed by Deputy High Commissioner Jennifer Mutombo. While Zambia showed strong interest in studying Nigeria's National Values Charter, which is the foundation of the proposed Nigerian Identity Project, which was approved by their Federal Executive Council, Mutombo highlighted the need for African nations to ensure their creative industries promote positive values. Our young people are watching these films and forming perceptions, sometimes misguided, about success, morality, and identity, she said. As leaders, we must ensure that what reaches the public inspires unity, innovation, dignity, and pride in African heritage. So like something that is about like the Lawa or the Orisha, something that's about indigenous religion and culture of Nigeria or Zambia, and that would not be positive,
right?
Because it's not Christian. Okay. Mutombo commended the NOA's nationwide presence and grassroots structure. She described it as a model worth replicating across Africa for civic education and national reorientation. National reorientation. Like it just...
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, they just want all the movies to be Christian.
Yeah.
That's it. They just want them to be Christian movies.
Sounds like our government.
It does, doesn't it?
Right? Okay, so a fun story this time.
Here we go.
I know this whole episode is about this, but I'm going to take you on a quick little trip to the Hekate Sickle Festival.
Oh, how funny.
How funny, I know. So obviously we attended this, and we, as we have before mentioned, had a freaking blast. However,
we did.
Yes, we did. So one thing that happened during that weekend was that the Aquariantabernaclechurch honored Reverend Selena Fox with a Lifetime Achievement Award. During the Hekate-Sickle Festival, which, if you guys didn't know, I'm sure if you've been following our episodes for a while now, you probably already do because we talk about it a lot. But Hekate-Sickle Festival is the ATC's 3-day gathering held each November in celebration of Hekate. This year, Selena Fox was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the gala on the Saturday night of the weekend. Yes, on the 8th.
Just 2 days ago.
Just 2 days ago, yes. So this evening recognition ceremony, in addition to her, it was not just her, of course, but it honored both ATC members and allies who have strengthened the pagan movement, culminating at the end in a tribute to Reverend Selena Fox.
Which we will now show you here.
This is Selena, I'm Celia, and I've heard stories about this woman driving golf carts at PSG, and I have my seatbelt on, so we'll see. Here's how we go.
Mistletoe. It's valued as a medicinal plant. It's valued as a plant of peace. And envision yourself at this gathering as being part of a great network of gatherings.
Have a negative association with the word witch. We're trying to change that, but if somebody asks me, are you a witch? Now, first of all, I will say, what do you mean by that word before I say whether I...
Most people who get to know us realize what we're doing is a very positive thing, that we're working with the energy. And the first thing I said to them was Jesus Christ was a witch, and talked about how the path of Wicca and its love consciousness is real similar to what Christ was espousing. The golden rule.
In Iowa County in southwestern Wisconsin. In this autumn season, let
Solstice magic, solstice magic, solstice magic, solstice magic, solstice magic, solstice magic, solstice magic.
To our guests. However, they prefer the name Wicca. And Wicca
nature and helped other people, but during the Middle Ages, those who practiced the old religion got some bad PR, and a lot of misinformation got spread about the old between Christ's teachings of honoring the divine and helping other people, and basic teachings of the craft. And
if you want to join with me in chanting Libertas 3 times, let us bring her energy not only to this particular pumpkin garden. People watched us. Samhain tide is flowing. Veterans Day greetings.
War in Afghanistan. He re-enlisted in the Army National
Of Bridget, representing her in her pagan and her Christian forms. Day that's come. Bright blessings.
So Selena Fox was born in 1949 in Arlington, Virginia. She's a pioneering pagan minister, psychotherapist, author, and activist who co-founded Circle Sanctuary in 1974.
Yes.
As the senior minister and high priestess, she has built Circle into one of the most influential pagan institutions in the U.S., home to Circle Magazine, a green cemetery, and a respected nature preserve.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was so cool to talk to her at the festival.
It really was.
She's
just amazing.
Such an inspiring woman.
And her, just like her presence and her energy, her like, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So now, of course, her work over the years has helped secure federal recognition of the pagan pentacle on U.S. military veterans' headstones. Headstones. I can talk. She has represented pagan perspectives at international interfaith gatherings, including the Parliament of the World's Religions. She combines professional training in psychology with ministry, and she has guided generations toward healing, equality, and ecological reverence.
Yeah, badass. So, and we're going to obviously show you more of that, so.
We will. So in presenting her Lifetime Achievement Award, Lady Belladonna Laveau. Hi, Belladonna.
Hi, Bella.
Matriarch of the Aquariantabernaclechurch and a Hierophant of the Great Mother Demeter. She presented the award and called Fox a bright star that called so many souls, and I completely agree.
Yes.
A quote from Bella from the award ceremony is, "Selena Fox hacked out a world for paganism, and she did it as a woman. There were few who could, and she faced great opposition. I remember seeing her on television with a globe doing a spell and realizing there were more of us out there. Selena was one of the bright stars who helped us find one another." And I just think that that is such a beautiful sentiment. It was an honor to be there, not only to witness this award given to Selena Fox, but also to have the privilege of doing the press for this event in general.
Agreed.
I cannot wait to be back for many a year to come, and it was so special to meet Selena Fox, who is, of course, one of our idols.
Yes, it was fucking brilliant.
It really was.
I'm so glad and can't wait to show you that. Okay, I need to borrow yours.
Yeah.
Because it's not wanting, Wild Hunt is like making me verify I'm human, and it keeps making me do it. Like it's not transitioning, so I just emailed you the link. There we go. Okay. All right, so Salem, Massachusetts. Now, we reported on what was going on in Salem during their Samhain/Halloween festival weekend, and the church gathering and coming and desecrating everything and being real fucking dickholes. Well, after Philip Renner Ministries, or Philip Renner Mysteries, Ministries, the Philip Renner Mysteries. So
what does he have to show ya?
Right, I know. So members of Philip Renner Mysteries who disrupted the annual Salem. I did. That's because I don't want to say ministries because it's bullshit. All right, Philip Renner Ministries disrupted the annual Salem Psychic Fair and Witches Market in October, which they do every October. That's their thing. The disruption, of course, came amidst this backdrop of broader Christian harassment, hate crimes, and violence against us. And of course, their Christian messaging on Christian witch talk, Christian talk, etc., denouncing Halloween and Samhain as demonic and occultish, and that we're organized and running through neighborhoods throwing spells, all that shit. And they're just saying that all across social media, and it's just, of course, influencing Christians, especially young Christians, to get more violent.
Right.
So the incident sparked outrage within Salem's pagan and interfaith communities, condemning the violation behavior as not just spiritual violation, but hate crimes. Pagan leaders are calling on city officials to ensure safety for practitioners and visitors ahead of Halloween. The Salem Police Department just gave a bunch of warnings. They didn't do fucking anything.
Of course.
Just gave warnings and citations, and we're like, don't fucking come back, and then that was it. So the Day and Kalin, who are the creators, the heads of the event every year, submit a formal complaint to the Massachusetts Attorney General. This is what it says. To the Office of the Attorney General, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We are requesting assistance from the Attorney General's office regarding Philip Renner Ministries, a religious group led by Philip Renner of Claremont, Illinois, that spent the final week of October entering Salem witchcraft and tourism shops, refusing to leave, hurling sexist, homophobic, and transphobic obscenities, acting physically aggressive, and throwing a substance they referred to as anointing oil at business owners, and smearing the substance on their private property. These acts appear to violate multiple Massachusetts laws, including MGL C266, 126A, willful or malicious destruction of property, MGL C265 and 13A, assault and battery, MGL C26539, assault or battery for the purpose of intimidation, MGL 27273, defacing structure designed for the purpose, defacing structures designed to memorialize the dead, and MGL C12 11H through 11J, the Massachusetts Civil Rights Act. Witchcraft has been recognized as a religion by the U.S. Supreme Court in Detmer v. Landon, 1985. Which was with Aquariantabernaclechurch. They were behind this. The U.S. military recognized it in 2007 with the inclusion of the pentacle on military headstones. Again, that is also ATC's work. Thousands of witches work and live in Salem, and countless more can be found throughout the globe as part of one of the world's fastest growing religions. On Sunday, the 26th of October, members of Philip Renner Ministries visited our Salem Psychic Fair and Witches Market at 176 Essex Street, rubbing their anointing oil on photos of our psychics and our tables. The police were called and let the group go with a warning. On October 27th, the group visited our shop Hex at 184 Essex Street, harassing tourists on the private part of our business under our awning and rubbing oil on our religious altar that memorializes the dead. The police were called again and issued yet another warning, later accompanied by no trespass orders provided to the group on October 31st on Salem Common. The ministry posted a video bragging about their visits on Instagram, and then it links to the Instagram. The fact that the Salem police, did like nothing when this is like
nothing,
Salem.
Not at all.
With the witches of Salem, Lori Cabot famously has helped on cases for the Salem Police Department. On Wednesday, October 29th, Tim McGuire's Halloween Museum and Joanna...
They've got a witch on their cop car.
I know.
Sorry.
The Tim McGuire's Halloween Museum and Joanna Thomas's shop, New England Magic, were both visited by members of the ministry. Its members stood in the doorways of these businesses, casting anointing oil at the owners and shouting obscenities, including whore. When police were called, they arrived to hear Charlotte Michaels, a trans woman and employee of the Halloween Museum, being called homophobic and transphobic slurs, yet they ignored this. Salem police, what the fuck are you doing? The police then took statements from the group's members and, despite multiple repeat offenses, let them go with yet another warning. When Mr. McGuire tried to explain to the officer in charge what happened, the officer became impatient, dismissive, and even swore at Mr. McGuire.
Wow.
Get it fucking together, Salem. What the fuck?
Exactly.
On October 30th, it's just actually really fucking gross that the police
really
in Salem,
gross.
Massachusetts,
Exactly.
you owe your entire fucking salaries to witches.
Exactly.
Just keep that in mind.
Exactly.
Witchcraft makes your town's economy fucking turn. Your paychecks, your pay, all of that, the fact that you make a living wage or above living salary, excuse me, the reason why is because of the fucking witchcraft economy of Salem, Massachusetts. Get your shit together and figure out who you fucking owe. Figure out who owes who in Salem. You owe the witches. Start fucking showing your appreciation. On October 30th, a staff member of Hex, Sean Kelly, was called a faggot and later sucker punched in the face by someone who was clearly with a Christian religious organization. Given the tone he described, we can only assume that this was a member of Philip Renner Ministries. Mr. Kelly filed a police report and we are awaiting an investigation. Awaiting
Wow.
an investigation. We are confident that neither Mayor Dominic Pangallo nor Police Chief Lucas Miller condone this conduct, but we also believe that their response has been limited by fear of litigation. A Christian church group previously prevailed in a First Amendment lawsuit against the city of Salem, and similar cases have been won throughout the country. Because of this, municipalities nationwide are often reluctant to address such harassment by radicalized religious groups. Salem has long been a target of radical Christian groups, but our current polarized socio-political climate has dramatically increased this level of harassment. On October 31st, 2023, one group brought a large and heavy cross into the center of our annual Halloween ceremony on Salem Common that, if dropped, could have killed one of our hundreds of guests. The police formed a circle around the Christians within the center of our ceremony, effectively ending it. Witches from around America came up to me that evening asking, why are the police protecting them and not us? We thought we'd be safe in Salem. The Salem Police Department has since addressed this particular issue, providing us with barriers for our Halloween ceremony in both 2024 and 2025, and has provided training to their staff to ensure our safety. However, the Philip Renner Ministries group is far more aggressive than any group we've experienced in Salem before, and we fear that their annual visits will only escalate to greater violence if left unaddressed. While the Salem Police Department did not see the application of anointing oils as vandalism, we found numerous cases referred to online in which the FBI treated acts such as placing bacon on mosque doorknobs as vandalism, and also investigated them as hate crimes due to the religious aversion to pork in Islam. The one recipe for anointing oil that we can find in the Bible from the book of Exodus contains a number of skin allergens such as cinnamon, cassia, and myrrh in a base of olive oil. Olive oil alone can stain and discolor surfaces, weaken sealants, and discolor inks and paint. The addition of the essential oils mentioned above can further etch and mar surfaces. Bacon is no more damaging or difficult to remove than the oil that the members of Philip Renner Ministries claim to be using. So we struggle to understand why Chief Miller and the Assistant District Attorney for Essex County, according to Chief Miller, would not follow the FBI precedent regarding bacon in regard to throwing or smearing of this anointing oil on private property as vandalism under state law MGLC 266-126A, and possibly even assault under MGL 265-13A when you consider that it was thrown at people who may suffer allergic reactions to its ingredients. We also believe this anointing oil may constitute a hate crime. Fuck yeah, it does. Philip Renner Ministries flagrantly describe their oil as something meant to oppose our beliefs, which they classify as demonic. By deliberately placing the oil upon our ancestral altar at Hex, it becomes not only a physical act of vandalism, but a religiously motivated attack. Yeah, the whole thing is religiously fucking motivated. One that should meet the same hate crime threshold as placing bacon on the doorknobs of mosques. Abso-fucking-lutely it should. Moreover, if oil is a form of vandalism and defacing, rubbing that oil on an ancestral altar may also violate MGL C27273, which prohibits defacing structures designed to memorialize the dead, which is exactly what that was. Finally, given that their obscenities and hurling of oil at people are accompanied by an intent to disparage our religious beliefs, this may also qualify as assault or battery for the purpose of intimidation, MGL C26539, and as a violation of the Massachusetts Civil Rights Act, MGL C12 11H through 11J, which it absolutely does.
Absolutely.
The First Amendment does not protect criminal behavior such as harassment, trespass, vandalism, assault, and battery, or intimidation of religious groups, even when religiously motivated, and especially when directed at other religious groups. We are asking that your office elevate this matter to clarify where constitutionally protected expression ends and criminal conduct begins, so that the mayor, the police, and the district attorney's office can act without fear of violating anyone's rights, because they're pussies, and they're so afraid and inept to just fucking do their jobs the way they're supposed to. Many Salem businesses rely on tourism to survive. Yep. Particularly in October. Oh yeah.
Oh, I wonder why.
Oh, yeah, I wonder why. And the fear being stoked by groups like Philip Renner Ministries could impact not only religious freedoms, but our local economy as well, especially if witches leave town. We hope your office can bring clarity to this situation and help ensure the safety and religious freedom of all Salem residents and business owners and those throughout Massachusetts. Sincerely, Christian Day and Brian Kane. So, yeah, I think that all sums up. That's fucking disgusting.
It really is.
And they better do something about it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have one more, and I use this term loosely, news story.
Oh, ooh.
It's a little bit silly.
Okay.
And by that I mean in a way that Christians are silly.
So it's kooky.
Yes. It is very kooky. So there's a trend on the internet where kids will say 6-7.
Yes.
This trend, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just kind of like a sound.
Yeah.
Like a TikTok sound.
Yeah, 6-7.
Yeah. It's believed to have originated from Skrilla's song Doot Doot.
Okay.
Which also is just a sound.
It's just, yeah.
So he has said in an interview that he practices Santeria.
Yeah.
So of course now, with the connection to 6-7 to his song, Christians are now up in arms, claiming that the numbers 6-7 are calling children to the occult.
Oh, of course.
Of course. So Abby Trivett, who is a Christian journalist and a writer and editor for Charisma Media, who her bio says that she has a passion for sharing the gospel through written word. Ooh. So what she weighed in on this a little bit. She said, the viral 6-7 trend may appear harmless to children, but its origins reveal a hidden agenda steeped in deception and the occult. These numbers are not just a game, they are connected to spiritual forces.
Oh, God.
Seeking to influence young minds.
Oh, God.
Normalizing exposure to practices that open the door to demonic activity.
What evidence of this is there?
I don't know. Honestly, as we were reading through the article that she wrote about this whole situation, I was trying to like find the actual bridge and the connection between 6-7, the song, and he's coming for your children.
Yeah, I don't.
Like I don't. It's just
racism.
It's
just racism and xenophobia and Christian hate and bias.
Yes. So that's their latest thing.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, if you spend any time on Christian TikTok or Instagram, you get a sense of how much of a stretch they are doing in their minds on a constant day-to-day basis.
Yeah, to connect the dots,
to find this
evil.
like evidence of their so-called spiritual warfare that we are waging upon them.
I know. Well, that's what they do.
It is what they do. I mean, I wish I had the time to devote to this, but I just don't.
Oh, Lord. Well, there you have it. Those are the headlines.
Those are.
Next up, finally, we are going to take you to the Hekate-Sickle Festival 2025 here in the Pacific Northwest of Washington. Again, Selenafox, fucking magic, fucking togetherness, fucking camaraderie, and just good times.
Yeah.
So, of course, fucking amazing.
Oh, such an incredible experience.
We had some dramas, and maybe we'll get into that later time.
Sure.
But all in all, but with the people themselves and the event itself, fucking amazing.
Wonderful.
Fucking amazing.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to do all of the press for them in the future.
I know. We got an award.
So very
we got the
exciting.
Green Man Award.
We did get the Green Man Award.
And this was for our work in new media and the importance of this show. And it was really great for us to be honored with that.
It really was.
And then we were given, I can't even open it. And then we were given ATC pins, and they've asked us to do their media for them and come to their events and to document the work that they do, and such amazing work for the community. And
they do.
It was just really an honor to have that opportunity and to get so much amazing affirmations for our own show.
Absolutely.
From all these people that we admire. And having someone like Selenafox say, that our show is so important and what we were doing was important and valuable just really means a lot and just something to hold
really
and to cherish.
What an incredible experience.
It really was.
And I mean, I'm so excited for all of it. I'm so thrilled for the connections that we got to make with members of our community. I'm so excited to partake in their events in the future, and I'm so excited for what the future holds for us.
Yeah, and to all of you who were there, who are watching this now, we can't wait to hang out with you guys again and see you guys again. You guys were all so wonderful and just fun and lively, and you were all beautiful souls. And yeah, can't wait to see you guys again and hang out with you guys again.
And it was great to meet you, and
it really was. It really was.
All of the witchy blessings be upon you.
Yes. So enjoy, take a look. First, our day started with our trek via public transportation. Actually, it was really good. Not terrible. Up to our hotel, where we then checked into our room. Nothing to write home about, but we did encounter some very famous next door neighbors. So we are just super excited. We just checked into our hotel a little bit ago here at the Hilton SeaTac Seattle Airport and Convention Center Hotel. And we were about to go, there's 2 conventions happening here at once, and there's 2 towers. And we were really confused as to what was going on. And why am I wearing these? Anyway, and so we were okay, what's going on? So we went to the bar, had a drink. And then came back to our room. There's this other convention for burlesque going on, and we were well, where's ours? What's going on here? So we came back to our room. We had kind of decompressed, and we were just about to head out and go on a hunt to go find them and see about doing a walkthrough or just seeing if we are at the right hotel.
Right, because we honestly weren't sure for a minute there.
Yeah, and as fortuitous as Hecate's torches guiding, we opened the door, and there is the festival coordinator who we are working with, Belladonna, just right there outside our door.
She was.
And then they knock on the door right across the hall from us, directly across our room. And it's Selenafox's room. The Reverend Selenafox is literally right across the hall from us. I can't believe it.
I know.
I cannot believe it.
If we were 13-year-olds, we could ding-dong ditch her.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do that.
No, but that's how close she is.
But the fact that she's close enough to do that, like, what?
Yeah, it's
we are so
fucking
excited.
amazing.
I know.
We are so excited. This is just a dream come true.
I know.
I can't believe that. Like, I have been such a fan of hers since the 90s when I was a kid, and now, like, I'm right across the hall from her.
I know.
It's just such an honor, and
Truly.
I'm hitting the mic. Yeah, we're mic'd up now.
Yes. We're fancy now.
We're fancy now. We tried, like I said, 2026 is our upgrade time for you guys,
exactly.
as much as we can do. A lot of great things in store for this weekend, the Hekate-Sickle Festival. Just stay with us and check it out.
We are so excited to take this journey with you guys.
Yeah, so blessed be you guys.
And the next thing that we did was we were going to head to the Crystal Ballroom to interview the people who were going to be setting up for the event. However, when we got there, none of those people were there. The lights were all off, no one was in the ballroom. But we still went in anyway, and what we quickly discovered was that we, in fact, were not alone. There was definitely a presence that was palpable in there. So of course we did what any two witches worth their salt would do, and we whipped out the Spirit Box app on our phones.
Sorry, it keeps freezing. All right, so we're gonna record. Do you have anything else to say other than gender? No?
Yeah.
What? Ooh. Is that you touching me right now? Like burning my thigh? That's not cool. In the name of Hekate, I subjugate thee, remove yourself from my body. What the hell? Why is it?
Alone again.
Who? We're not alone again.
Are you alone again?
Are you alone again? I mean, you're taking a minute.
You are.
You're actually here. Did you leave? Oh, maybe you're alone again. We're alone again because you've left.
Maybe. Did you leave?
Did you leave the room? Anyone here? I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna set the phone right here. You can come up and leave up to it. We'll give you some space. If you want to say anything to us, just go ahead and speak into that. Supposedly it's going to hear you. Supposedly you said alone again. Anything? Do you have anything to say? What about the ceiling? What about the ceiling? The light in the ceiling? Are you talking about the light above us on the ceiling? We're leaving. We're gonna leave. We're leaving. We're failing. I'm out of my booze. Orange? Oh, do you think our drink was orange? No, it's like a pink. Jail? Were you in jail? Were you in jail? Is that where you were? Were you in jail? Yes or no? Were you in jail? Can you say yes or no? You're in a haze? Is it because you're high? Or are you saying I'm in a haze? Or we're in a haze because we've been drinking? What are you trying to say? Are you being accusatory?
Whispers hidden.
There are whispers hidden. Are you just spitting nonsense now? Is this nonsense? Is this careless whispers? Are you having careless whispers? Anything else we should know? Careless lies, careless whispers, hidden whispers. We're making fun of you.
We are.
We're making fun of you.
But you're making it really easy.
You are. You're making it super easy. Should we try a different device? Say like device, or like change, or like different, or switch. Something. Just something that indicates that you can respond to exactly what I'm saying right now. Yes, no. Yes, no. I feel you trying to burn me. Paper. Are you, try this, try speaking in Venice, again. We'll try to hear you through the static radio wave. Use this right here, signal. Try to talk to us. Stop tickling me. Did you just tickle me? Did you just tickle me back here? Were you just back here? Did you just tickle me? Are you tickling me now? Or are you just touching me? Everyone? What's everyone? After thoroughly pissing him off, we were sure it was a he. We went to bed and woke up the next day and had breakfast while registration kicked off. There were no mimosas or Bloody Marys to be had in the bar, so we had to scour for that. Thank you, 13 coins for your salvation. All right, so it is day one, and we are officially day one.
Yes.
And we are going to go check out registration and everything right now, get footage of that, show the venue, just start really documenting the day, day one of the Hekate Sickle Festival. We're really excited, so come on with us. Good, how are you?
Are you here for Sickle?
Yeah, we're the morning show.
You're Tia Memoria?
No, we're spelling the HEKA-TEA.
You're spelling the HEKA-TEA?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm just like,
Yes.
this is a cool name.
Yes. We're actually just getting our setup shots for the special. So
Vendors are right there.
Perfect.
Crystal ball are right there behind. There's the registration. That's where we're going to have our ritual space in
Yes.
there. If you want me to see if I can get you guys in there before people get in there, so you can
yeah, we were in there last night. We were helping Belladonna do some stuff, and so yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, my question: is there a spot that we can just put our bags?
Absolutely.
That way, we're not just like lugging everything. Once that was done, we went for a morning ritual that kicked everything off.
We got all checked in. We went into the vendor hall and met with all of the vendors and were able to talk with them a little bit. They were all really cool and had some very interesting things to both sell and to say.
Just really quick, you are an aura photographer. What is your name?
My name's Peggy.
Hi Peggy, nice to meet you. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Evan.
How long have you been doing aura photography?
This will be my third year doing it.
Oh wow.
I've been in the physical market.
Yeah.
All that time.
That's really, really cool. Have you had any really cool kind of like experiences or anything that's happened when you're doing aura photography with people?
Yeah. We've had quite a few experiences that kind of really help people because our equipment has the ability to kind of see when like their chakras are
Misaligned or
out of alignment, and also if there's like some healing or balancing that needs to be done in the area. So that's what's helpful about what the report does. That I give a little interpretation about that. So
that's really cool.
We had some lady that got hers done, and she had some dark colored chakras, and went to the doctor and found out she had cancer. So
Yeah. Oh.
Showed up in her.
That's amazing. That's really cool. That is awesome.
It's life-changing for her, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At least.
We're gonna go. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, Peggy. Thank you.
And got started on the talks that were happening that day. We first started off with a workshop by Belladonna, which was very interesting, very enjoyable, and then
religious leaders have an extra special help because we ask deity and she'll tell us what to do, right? She'll be like, turn left, there's a pothole. Dragons towards Albuquerque, turn left. But it's also really important to surround ourselves with leaders. I mean, experts in a field. Oh, we need to cut hair today. You know how to cut hair. Can you go cut these people's hair? You know how to chop wood. You know how to haul water. You have to put the right people in charge. When you have a problem that needs a nuclear physicist to solve and you're not a nuclear physicist, you can't just pretend like you know it and take your best guess. You have to say, well, we're going to need a nuclear physicist to solve this one, you guys. Anybody know a nuclear physicist? And then you find one. That's leading, right? That having all of the answers is not leading. Leading is being able to understand the story, understand the problem, know where people are at and where they have to go, and be able to get them there safely, sanely, and happily is the goal. We can't always be happy about it, can we? But that's the goal, right? You want people to be, I told somebody this morning, I said, you know the most important thing about leading a festival? And she said, no, what? I said, I'll get mad. Don't mad. We're here for fun. We're having a good time. Don't get mad about anything. You can't get upset when you're leading, because when you get upset or you start crying or you get emotional, what happens? You can't make good decisions. You get into your emotions, you get into your heart, you can't make good decisions. Problems happen. Problems happen today. Problems happening right now. There's problems everywhere. If you think about all of the things that you got going on in your head and your heart and your body and your mind and your world and your kids and your job and your bills and what you're going to do when you get out of here and what you're going to eat tonight and what you're going to wear to the ball and all of the other things that happen all day long, and realize that every one of these people are experiencing that. Things are going to go wrong. But are they really wrong, or are they just really not what you expected? I try to be the eye of the storm. You just pivot. Like all of these resources and time and money, people, time, money, right? How do you just make it flow into the solution that you're looking for and allow deity to inspire you into greater things? Selena calls it creative problem solving.
Opportunities to problem solve.
Opportunities to problem solve. We get to use our critical thinking and figure this one out, right?
Well, I'm so thankful for your leadership, not only with Aquariantabernaclechurch, but across the pagan world and beyond, and being part of the interreligious networking that's so needed for our world today.
Yes.
And being able to build bridges of understanding and collaboration.
Well, thank you.
And that's so important.
Thank you.
It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here.
We headed the next door to hear a talk about Aradia.
After that, everyone braked for dinner. Again, thank you 13 coins for your amazing happy hour.
Oh, so good.
Then we came back for the seance and the rituals for those who have passed in the past year, the rituals of death and crossing over. And then after that, it was time for the vampire ball. After breakfast, we went for this episode's spellcraft, which is setting morning intentions that you wish to accomplish over the week, over your day, or weekend, or whatever you have going on, and the easy way to invoke to make that happen.
Okay, so if we have to get up and split, please forgive me. I don't want to be here for you.
That's okay. Okay, I think we have all of our friends today, so let's get started. Welcome to Morning Devotionals. This is a tradition that we have within the ATC, I can say words, within the ATC and at our seminary. If you want to attend daily devotionals online, you can always go to the Children of the Crossroads Discord channel, and they have them twice a day in partnership with the seminary. And then also a lot of our covens will do this, whether it's like once a week or when they have an event, anything like that. But basically, this is a way to get your morning started going diesel. You want to get it started going in the right direction with gratitudes. And so we say our intentions for the day or the week or for whatever time period we're doing it within that setting, and then we say our gratitudes to thank the goddess for the amazing things that she's done for us, and we spin that all up with the witch's room. But first, we have to bring the goddess to us. So we start with the charge.
I hope that you enjoyed this very Hekate Sickle Festival edition of Spellcraft, and we hope that you go forth and apply that into starting your own days.
Next, we got to the juicy part that everyone was waiting for, and that we know you guys have been waiting for, which is our live, following the HEKA-TEA Hekate Sickle Festival live edition, where the topic was the importance of personal and in-person community and the pagan threat. Hey witches, blessed second day of the Hekate Sickle Festival, and welcome to another episode of Spelling the Hekate with Marcus and Evan.
This time a live one.
Yes, very much a live one, reporting from the Hekate Sickle Festival.
Where we are two homos, one cauldron usually, but not today, because we can't burn anything in this hotel.
Absolutely not, we'll burn it to the ground, it's terrible.
Exactly.
One hotel, a bunch of witches, fire, cauldrons, candles, incense, gone. Just fucking gone.
Up in smoke.
Yes. All right, so, what are we here for? What is our main topic of discussion for this week? Something that we talk about a lot. You know, right now, Lucas Miles, backwards his name. Lucas Miles, who's a reverend, just came out with a book, as we know, called Pagan Threat. It has a foreword by Charlie Kirk. And though the book is trash, poorly written, again, I don't even think he wrote it. I think he plagiarized Carol Matriciana and Chuck Smith for Pagan Invasion.
Yes.
And
poorly sourced as well.
And poorly sourced. But there's enough surface, as we said, as we went through on earlier episodes, there's enough surface factual definitions of the wider left-hand path occult pagan community. Even, again, breaking down the Wheel of the Year. Again, superficial, but still correct definitions. Yes. There hasn't really been anything like this before. He gives definitions to many of the deities, granted mostly from the Greco-Roman pantheon, but still they're in there and they're correct.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a foreword by Charlie Kirk. Full disclosure, we are not Wiccan.
No.
We are not Wiccan. We are polytheistic pagan witches. Specifically, I'm a Hecatean witch.
And I am a Herian witch, as you can probably tell from my cup.
But you know,
that might be not
yeah. But we're not Wiccan. So obviously, there are ideas that we have in terms of defense, self-defense, offense that can differ from the Wiccan community at large.
Yes.
But we're also in an unprecedented age.
Yes, absolutely.
That we haven't seen before. And on top of that, we're losing the sense of physical community in the witchcraft community. And these things really go hand in hand, because we're also reporting all the time on shops that are shuttering all across the country because they just can't afford the rents, they can't afford the laws that are being passed in their states that are purposely designed to try to shut their shops down.
Yes.
And when we came of age, it was before the internet was just a cough that just happened.
Right.
And you know, so if you wanted anything, you had to find your metaphysical shop.
Yes.
Or maybe you got lucky and you found like a fine gift shop in your little main street that sold candles and things.
Yes,
and
exactly.
you could, you know, but you had to seek them out. For me, it was Franny's Magical Garden on 6th Avenue in Tacoma, Washington in the 90s. And she was a witch you didn't mess with. She was badass, grumpy. She had a parrot that would, peck at you, piss at you. But she famously hexed every single shipment of things that came in. So if you stole from her, your life was fucked up until you returned it. And she was the first person who taught me, just like, look, even Hekate knows when to cut a bitch. Like, sometimes if there's injustice happening and the entire mechanism of society, and this resonated to me as a femme gay boy in the 90s, sometimes those who are supposed to protect you and help you are not going to. And you have to find your own ways of protecting yourself and helping others and shedding light on injustice, because that's what her torches are all about, shedding light on injustice. And sometimes it's Hekate Brimo, decimating them to the crumbling ground. And she's one of the deities, has more epithets than any other deity in any pantheon across the world. It's insane. And,
she does. I feel like they could honestly fill like a book with no other information about her, just the epithets. Like it would still be like 200-300 pages.
So insane. But there was a real sense of community back then where you had to go and you had to learn, you had to buy the stuff, you had to talk with people. Now we have social media running rampant. People are buying hexes and spells and stuff on Etsy for sometimes thousands of dollars. We've reported on, we had a whole episode on Etsy witches and scams. And
we did. Which was a lot of fun to see the wide array of spells that are out there.
Some are like become an actual mermaid for $400. Like you'll grow fins, like you will, like it was crazy. And people are paying for this.
You can breathe underwater.
And they're paying for this stuff.
They're paying for it.
And we've come across things where you're just like, where did you learn this? Like, I feel like you literally watched, I don't know, Charmed or Witches of Eastwick and just said, okay, this is fact. I don't know, but there seems to be a lot of misinformation happening and a lot of loss of physical community that we need in this time. And there is again, we're now finding ourselves in politically and socially in a rising new Orthodox evangelical movement inspired by Eastern Orthodoxy, which believes in believes in demons, witches are evil, possession, Burnham. This is really catching on with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And it's just slowly infiltrating, and it's increasing this these hate crimes that have been happening at all these shops, to all these vendors just in the past year. And what we're wondering, and why we wanted to have this conversation here with people, is what in this age do you think has either been gained or lost in our new social media age in terms of the witchcraft, metaphysical, neo-pagan Wicca community? What do you think? Or do you think there's a shit ton of benefits and this has been amazing? Or do we think that there's something that we need to try to rescue and save here?
That is a really interesting question. I mean, because the internet is a literal tween space, right? And so the accessibility of magic, the accessibility of information, the accessibility of finding other people of like mind is a really wonderful thing, and that, you know, we can do rituals and do magic online together.
Yep.
And at the same time, the amount of misinformation and crappy, you know, like you were saying with the Etsy stuff, like selling spells that are really just made up.
Yeah.
Right. And made up information that's designed to, you know, oh, people want this, so I can make money off of it.
Right. Yeah.
So that is how do you finding good information, finding people who are actually in it from that place of service and community connection, as opposed to I can make money off of you. Is a challenge.
And I think that, like, so for me, I look at, like, look, we know that, like, we have a lifelong trade as witches of, you know, making money doing tarot readings, making money doing palms, doing spells. We do it, but it was more of like it was always personal, it was more directed. There was never, I have never encountered until now witches who charge, I would say, more than the cost of the items that were needed, the materials, and then an hourly rate for like the time. Right. But we in this new age, we're seeing people who are like, oh, you know, we'll do this cord cutting. This is the big one that we're seeing everyone do, is this cord cutting ritual spell. And everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna do my cord cutting. Oh, I'll do one for you for $1,500.
Right.
And I'm like, what? And our question is, where we're losing this idea of, I remember the excitement of after school, secretly, because I couldn't tell kids what I was doing in elementary school and middle school, like where I was going after school. But after school, going to Magical Garden, buying, you know, the right candles, the right color, the right items, and that kind of tactile connection to the energy, because it's more than just, oh, I'm buying goods. When you walk into an occult shop, there's a feeling. There's a fucking feeling. Not all the time. I've gone into some where you're like, this is clearly just some corporation wants to make money, and they lease a space and this is what they do, right? Like, but when they are like real, like mom and pop shops, and the vendor knows their broomstick, they're worth their salt and what they know, you're like, okay, there's a safety and a connection, and you're like, you walk away feeling that there was a magical experience that carries with you. And we talk to a lot of young people now who live in places with occult shops. They don't bother.
Right.
And as a result, we're seeing these shops close. We're also seeing, again, these shops now in the past year or so, a concerted effort from churches all across the country to shut them down. Narration. And we as a community, I think now more than ever, we need to figure out how to respond to this in a way that is saving and helping each other.
Exactly. I mean, to go back to what you described about what you enjoy about walking into a physical magic shop, I think what that really comes from is that there is a camaraderie, no matter what your pagan path is, from being around other witches.
Yes.
And there is a familiarity and a bond that you share together, that you don't even have to do anything or say anything to cause an effect. It's just there among witches. And I think that with this very dangerous new era that we are entering into in our country, unfortunately, it is a time for witches of all paths to come together.
Yeah, exactly. We have to remember that, like, yes, it is good to be like blessings, hope, love, positivity, but sometimes maybe you need to bind that church down the block, and you need to keep them in their building, and you need to keep them in their place. You don't need to do harm to them. My favorite things to do in terms of a hex is a mirror spell. where I literally just send back. I call it return to sender. And whatever crap you've ditched at me or whatever, I just go to my mirror and I say, I give it back to you because I don't want it anymore. And everything you've made me feel, you will now feel and you will understand. And until you learn your lesson, it will not quell. Gives the person every opportunity to grow and realize, because I promise you when you do that, what they experience will be directly a reminder of whatever transgression it was.
Exactly.
And you know what? They accept that, they grow, they move on. I'm not doing anything other than giving back to them what they gave to me.
Exactly.
You can find them in their place. In art.
But I was going to say that I completely lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But how much of it I think is yes, got it back. How much of it us as pagans and witches being disorganized and disconnected is because so many people have either religious trauma or they, don't like organized religion. Like I know that there's a lot of people who even don't like the HEC because we call ourselves a church.
Yeah.
And I know that Pete deliberately chose that as a protection word.
Of course,
right?
you had to, have to. You still have to now.
Yeah.
Right? But there's this like organized religion, or like church is a bad word, right? Because many of us come from Christian faiths.
Oh yeah.
And have, trauma from our upbringing in those faiths. So, like, how do we organize a group of people who don't want to be organized?
So, right, okay. So, I went through conversion therapy by my grandfather, by his own hands. I was ripped out of school. I had to, my whole future was train wrecked. Luckily, you don't need a lot of degrees to be a successful queer published author. So, you just have to know how to write and do it really well. And the goddess blessed me with that. And so, yay. But didn't mean that they didn't try. It literally was, so Matthew Shepard, for example, was killed in October of 98. April of 99, I was ripped out of school, told I had been expelled, which was not the truth. And I was shipped off to my grandfather's after 3 weeks of being held prisoner in my home, which had no effect. And luckily, she was with me the entire fucking time. And, so I get it. I wasn't even my faith, and I'm fucked up from it. I can go into a Catholic church because, as so many people, the cleric in Italy say themselves, we're just pagans. And so there's so much ritual there that even though it's not our faith, so many of our Hekate is also St. Catherine. So it's you can go into a Catholic church and if there's a St. Catherine, well, there's a Hekate and Catholic drag right there. There is a call to pick up the phone and say hey. So, but going to any other type of church, I burn up. The back of my neck burns. I can't. And I think also, yes, there is. I think also kind of the stigma with the Wicca in itself that there's very kind of dogmatic, kind of heterosexual, lord and lady, divine, man, divine. Which when I grew up, I remember I had books on Wicca that flat out said homosexuality and Wicca do not compute. Yeah, and this guy came from England, and it was a 3-book series, and he was Gardenian. And Gardnerian. I always call him Gardenian. Gardenia. And just because for some reason I thought he was like an elvish gay man, and then I realized he was very much not. And I was like, oh. But then I was like, Gardenias. But no, yeah, Gardnerian. And but he literally, there was a literal questions asked, and it was homosexuality, and it was flat out no, it is the god and the goddess, the divine union, the cup, the chalice, blah blah blah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, we're planning our episode on that. Yeah.
Exactly. It was very heterosexual.
It was. And ageist as fuck.
Yes, and misogynistic in some
yes.
ways. Yeah. All kinds of other problematic things.
Yes.
But I think Wicca has come a long way.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Because, paganism in general and Wicca, we're all fringe communities.
Yep.
So we intersect with literally every other fringe community because, let's all get together.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So there's this, welcoming, open diversity, but also don't be organized.
Well, it's so when we first encountered, and I was really hoping Belladonna was going to be here. She said she was going to, but when we started first talking with her and everything and connecting with her, she was like, oh, we're really glad you guys are here because maybe you can find a way for us to help connect. Right. Sure, yeah. And a new way to kind of reach out about what we do and how we do it, because I think even if there's this disorganization and you don't want to be sign up your membership form and here you go.
Right.
If even there was a way where ATC could start utilizing, and we start using social media and new media as it's called, what we do is new media, we could find a way to, at the very least, organize witches to at the very least show up at other types of protests, for Palestine, for Gaza, for women's rights, for fucking trans rights.
Exactly.
As witches, unite, so that at least, even if no one's a part of the ATC or a few people are, we find a way to utilize social so that any disjointed neo-pagan, we just come together so in these moments our presence is known.
Yes.
You know, maybe we can't be organized as witch was in the 1970s during second wave feminism, but there is an opportunity to find ways of using new media to at least heighten presence.
Exactly.
You know, we're also, of course, used to being secret. That's
Yes,
what we do.
yes.
That's one of the magical things about it. Like every time we kept passing people at BurlyCon, and they were like, "Oh, what are you guys with? What is going on?" And we'd be like,
We're like,
"Oh, we're like, what con are you with?" "Oh,
we can
can't say it. Sorry." Like, they're like, "What?" We're like, "Oh, you know, just can't say.
Right.
Just can't say. We're just having a great time though." But you know, like. But there is that kind of also that there is a funness to being a witch,
Yes.
of being secret.
Yes.
There is fun, and there should be ownership in being a witch. There are fun things about it that like you should be able to relish in and be like, yeah, tee. But like also because of that, we have that tradition of being like, shut your mouth, just be present, but don't be present as a witch or as a heathen, as a pagan, but still show up to the protests, show up to the things. But if there was a way, like through new media, to just, again, like we were saying, to organize just for, let's say there's a protest for Gaza or a protest for women's rights or a protest for whatever, that you could get in, you know, say, okay, witches of Seattle area, we're all marching in this protest, but come in your most, here I am as a witch garb that you can, come so we can make our presence known. Just almost, again, as I said, taking activism from witch in the 1970s during second wave feminism, just that presence of us. I think too, kind of, yes, it's fun to talk about spells, and it's fun to talk about candles, and it's fun to talk about all the kind of the fun things we talk about, but there's also, again, a lot of serious things going on. They just passed what everyone confusedly thinks is just an executive order, but it's not. It's a directive to Homeland Security that has what's called your new terrorist enemies watch list, one of which is anything anti-Christian.
Right.
So Trump has come up with this last HB 18 something.
Yeah.
I'd have to Google, but I can't because my
Yeah,
phone's here.
exactly.
But it's a directive to Homeland Security, to Department of Homeland Security, that basically expands the domestic terrorist watch list and says what counts as anti-terrorism. So you have things that are anti-American, burning a flag, anti-science in terms of traditional gender norms. This is all considered watch out terrorist organizations. Antifa has been listed as a terrorist organization on this, even though it is not. No. One of the things listed on here is anything that is anti-Christian is considered an enemy. Now we're seeing this rise in anti-pagan rhetoric. Erica Kirk has now gone on a tour with JD Vance, where they're doing a Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA kind of tour right now. What they're talking about is passing on the legacy and continuing the legacy of her husband, which was shutting down the environmentalist, neo-pagan, Gaia worshipping. Like they're very much about Gaia as the enemy. Gaia specifically is the name being dropped right now.
Which is
the pagans are worshiping Gaia. The neo-environmentalists and neo-woke movements. They've abandoned Christ and have turned to the Earth Mother and to Gaia, because they are separate as well. They keep referring it to the Earth Mother and to Gaia. Like every time they talk about it.
Which just really
even in the book Pagan Threat, it's referenced as
separate.
Yes.
Which just really shows how misinformed they are, even when they think they're educated.
Correct, because they're not. Yeah.
They're not.
But what's happening is now this, and I didn't expect it to go away with his passing because he's becoming martyred.
Right.
But what I didn't see coming was that JD was going to like actively. I think he knows that like Orange Dude is fucking up, and like he knows like he needs to have a contingency plan because he knows that the base isn't going to go for him. I think that maybe is part what he's trying to do in terms of now taking over Charlie Kirk's podcast. And now he has the endorsement of Erica, Charlie's wife, is that his rhetoric has been very anti-pagan since he's taken it over.
Right.
They keep talking about how women are being lost to the goddess right now. That's like in Pagan Threat, there's like 2 chapters all about the loss of young women to the goddess. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
And changing the climate of what's going on. And so we just hope that there is a way that we can be more aware as pagans within this community. Thank you. And you know, yes, we love the magic, we love the togetherness, the singing.
Exactly.
But we also just need to be more hyper-vigilant and aware now as a community. And we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on how you think in your own communities, if you know how maybe you're involved or how you think you can be involved. Like, for example, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
So I'm originally from California in the Bay Area, but I've been here for about 12 years, and I'm up in Marysville. We actually have a apothecary down on 3rd Street in Marysville, and the lovely lady who runs it does new moon and full moon circles.
Oh, amazing!
Oh my God!
And she's just the most sweet lady. But yeah, I mean, we see a lot of social media pushback when she puts out the rituals.
Yeah.
These are new moon, full moon women's circles. And when she posts on the community groups, the local community groups, people
lose their
come
shit
in and say, you're worshiping the devil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just that, very much that evangelical Christian interpretation of what's going on. And that, honestly, like the rise of Christian nationalism
Yep.
that's happening right
Yep.
now. It's really infiltrating the way that people are interacting
Yes.
in these things
And,
online.
and what's dangerous is we also have now the rise of, what do they call themselves? The Nazi pagans.
Oh, Asatru.
Asatru. And they're not part of the Ashur church in North Scandinavia, which is very beautiful and open and loving and wonderful. This is a genetics based. Now we're mixed as fuck.
We are.
And my dad is American Native and Mexican Native. You know, they're like, you have to be pure Aryan, you have to have a Nordic fucking. Now you go to Scandinavia, they're like, we don't care if you're black, we don't care if you're Arabic, we don't care if you're Spanish, you can worship our deities. Like, but here they're like, you have to be white, you have like, and
There's a lot of pushback for that in the heathen community.
which is great.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing from Christian progressives and Christian Democrat liberals is they're seeing the rise of this, and they're associating paganism and neo-paganism with white supremacist neo-Nazism. And then you're sitting here going, no, wait, do you understand how much is under the umbrella of of polytheism? Like, no. But you have this almost weird double narrative happening from both ends, and it's unfortunate because that's what's getting the attention in press right now. Right. And then you're seeing, like you said, pushback, which, by the way, we love to feature local businesses. That's like one of our things is featuring local shops and vendors. And so we would love to connect more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
That would be so wonderful.
Yes, we would love to do that.
Part of it's the polarization that the algorithms cause.
Exactly.
The attention needs to be there. It's the shock value. And it's creating so much polarization in thought because our thought processes change in the way that we're exposed to things, right? So we're repeatedly exposed to the same information. Even if we were skeptical at first, with repetition, we become more and more accepting of those ideas. And because the algorithms are polarizing, this is why we see so much contention, right? And so few people who are exposed to a general audience saying, let's step back and let's look at this and let's like come back to the center and figure out like where we actually meet eye to eye, because we always have more in common with each other than we do different.
Yep.
But because of the polarizing algorithms and news media cycles and having to have that shock value and the repetition that's happening over and over and over again, dozens of times a day.
Yep.
It's so hard for us to step back and say, okay, like where can we come together? Where can we agree? Where can we be okay with things? How can we as a community, even if we don't agree on everything all the time?
Right. You try to get, as they say, 13 witches in a room.
Exactly.
Right. This thing is one thing we can come together on and agree on.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Like form coalitions to say, let's support each other in this particular area, even if there's 5 other areas we don't agree on.
Yeah, exactly. Passed a law or an executive order. A lot of people think it's an executive order. That was like anti-Christian, anti-military, burn a flag, anti-American, like you're a threat. People are like, but don't take it seriously, it's just an executive order. It is not. It is a declaration that expands the powers of the Department of Homeland Security to define what is domestic terrorism.
Just as a note, that is National Security Presidential Memorandum.
Yes.
7, published on September 25th.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for looking that up. All the phones were occupied, so we couldn't look it up. But this is not an executive order. This is a directive that expands the Department of Homeland Security's optics of who to look at as terrorists. As I was saying in Pagan Threat, ATC is mentioned in that book at least twice.
Yeah.
There are many, Buckland is mentioned in it.
Yes.
Cunningham is quoted in it. They really mined the bucket for what they could put in here. And Charlie Kirk in his foreword said this is the most important book of this generation. It clearly outlines the real threat of America. It is not, he listed a bunch of other bullshit. I think he was like, it's not Antifa, it's not BLM. He was like, it is pagans. It is the pagans. It is the removing of godlessness. It is women being lost to Mother Earth, to Gaia. Oh yeah, it's like, it's scary. It is scary. And now we have hate, as we were saying, there are hate crimes at shops all over the country this past year.
And unfortunately, with the coincidence of his assassination, that has led to an explosive success of the book that frankly may not have been there without that.
Well, especially thanks to Jezebel and their Etsy Witch article, hiring an Etsy Witch to curse Charlie Kirk on the August 28th full moon in, I think it was Capricorn?
Yes.
Yes. And, new moon in Capricorn, I believe.
No, it was, I think it was in Virgo, actually.
Virgo. And they were like, it'll take about 2.5 to 3 weeks, and literally 3 weeks later. And so that sales shot right up. And now that, if you listen to Christian talk radio, all they talk about right now, all they're talking about is Charlie Kirk. And all they're talking about is the witches who did witchcraft have anything to do with it? And the answer is always yes.
Every time people bring up Charlie Kirk, I go, the captain from Star Trek?
Right.
Every single time. They go, Charlie. I say, Charlie Boo, predicted Charlie Kirk. I go, Captain when Star Trek died? And then one guy posted a picture of Jean-Luc Picard, and I went, I'm not an idiot, I know that's Captain Picard. Because the only way to fight this is to ridicule them.
Exactly.
And that's what I do. All I say now is, you're an idiot, and I post this picture of a bunch of people pointing at people with red hats and laughing.
Yes.
And that's it. And they yell at me, yell at me, yell at me. I got called a dumb lesbian. I got called to take my hooker name elsewhere, but they always block me because I don't say anything back.
Right, of course, you could never, yeah.
The only way to beat edgelord meme lords is to be an edgelord meme lord back and laugh at them and ridicule them.
Right.
That's true. That's where I'm at. I'm just like, you're an idiot. Lol.
I think that we need to learn or find a way to utilize new media. Like that's what we're, again, with this show, what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
We're trying to find a way that is fun, but also engaging and honest about where we are and informative. Because one of the reasons I do this is because I go on YouTube a lot, obviously, and I find a lot of witch, pagan commenters who are super knowledgeable. But what they're talking about is just, that episode on working with ancestors, or it's still just your mechanics of being a witch or mechanics of spellcraft. And what you're not finding and what we saw was a real need for was how do we, in some ways, an inspiration from Widdershin's newspaper when I was young, and now in the Wild Hunt newsletter was, how do we make this come alive? Where you're getting information, you're getting news, you're being told this law, this is why we know what was going on in South Africa, because we reported on it. Because it's important that people know that there is real stuff happening in the world related to being a witch, and it's not just the togetherness, the spellcasting. Like there is unfortunately an enemy in this country, especially, that is organizing, and they are actively organizing against us. And we have people in office, people in power, who genuinely believe witches are real. They genuinely believe our magic is real, rightfully so. They genuinely believe we can hex them 3 ways from Sunday if need be, or bind them into oblivion if need be. But they think it comes from the devil. They think it's all demonic and evil. They think we have literal demons inside of our body.
Exactly.
They gather about this, they talk about this. This is a real thing, unfortunately. We benefited in the 90s and 2000s from politicians who were religious, who, sure, they were like, they exist, we think they're misguided, but we think they're delusional. We don't actually believe that they're witches. Right. We don't actually believe they have power. But we do think they're fallen from Christ. That's changed now. The people in power now, the younger politicians, the millennials, the younger Gen X or Zennial, they 1000% believe it. They just believe it comes from a very, very evil place that is organized in sacrificing babies in pizza parlors to bring about a global end, a global domination. It is, you go and listen to Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, any of these neo people who have millions of listeners every day, who post every day and have millions of followers, millions of listeners, Girls Gone Bible, 2 girls, 1 cross, something like that, have millions of listeners on their podcast. And what they talk about is how Charlie Kirk's passing was is another sign of the biblical end times.
Yes.
The ones
a lot of spiritual warfare talk.
So much spiritual warfare talk. Yes. And about how witches were actively behind Trump's assassination. We were throwing spells. Right. So his assassination attempts were because of witches. This is all the dialogue that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were like, why is this not out there more in a way that is tangible? Mm-hmm. That says, hey, we're in the 21st century. Media has changed. We need to now, we know we like to be alone. We know we like to be in secret. We like to operate in shadow. And that is what we do. And that's totally fine. Like I say, get 13 witches in a room to light a candle, and none of them will agree on how to light the fucking candle. Like, we all have our way. Everyone has their own variation. For example, the Charge of the Goddess. We all have our own. We all take our things and tweak them. We, for example, the way I was doing the Charge of the Goddess, Hekate, the way I work with her, she came and she was like, I want this a little more personal to you and I on some of these lines. So most of it is still as was from the Gospel of Aradia through Doreen Valianti, but there's some things that are personal to her and I. And that's just, but we all have our ways, but we need to find our way as a general witch polytheist group, for example. But so many of these shops are finding themselves alone suddenly, and they have hundreds of people, from example, Stillwater Baptist Church outside their fucking door in Orlando, singing Fire on the Pyre of the Lord and chanting and trying to break into the fucking shop. And scary, and they're standing there and they're like, what the fuck do we do? The footage from that, when we show it, it was terrifying. You're watching this and you're like, where's the pitchforks? Where's the torches? Like,
that was really scary for me personally, because that is the store where I found my path.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yes. Thank you, yeah.
It's scary to me because on a personal level, one, that's not the kind of Christianity I grew up with, because I was a progressive Christian.
Right.
But two, what's entirely terrifying to me is that not only are they giving the Department of Homeland Security the ability to make us sound like we're terrorists, so we're not going into communities terrorizing people, but they're giving these very people carte blanche to terrorize us and then say they're not terrorists.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
In the same breath.
Correct. I heard a guy a month ago, terrifying as fuck. I was just, a friend of mine and I were walking to a bar in the middle of the day and to grab a drink for happy hour. And as we're crossing the street, we cross the street and there's this guy, probably 20 years old, grew up living in an affluent neighborhood, clearly from the neighborhood that we live in, nice old houses. He is wearing tactile gear. He's got a fucking semi-automatic and a Bible. No joke. And we're crossing the street with him, and I have literally got my pentacle. I've literally witched the fuck out. Like, you're looking at me and there's no way you're not, like, this fucker's a witch. And he looked right dead in my fucking face and he goes, God bless you. And he didn't say it in a nice way. And I froze. And I was like, uh-huh, and kept walking. And as we're walking, and I'm going this way, he's coming this way, I got a chill at my spine, and I turn around, and he starts doing triple fucking takes. And as he's going up across the street, he's still holding his fucking gun as his Bible, and he keeps looking back at me and my friend. And we just walked as far, and since then we have seen it in our neighborhood. Young, especially young, affluent, hetero white boys who feel very emboldened by their alpha, sigma, Christian, hetero, manosphere shit they're all in, which Charlie Kirk came out of, and they're all part of, and Cash Patel came from, and all these people come from, and they're policing the streets actively. We are an actual protected, marginalized community and group and a religious minority that, because we don't act that way, we are not seen as that. And that's the problem too, is they don't see us as an actual religion, as people who have religion or faith, because they like to own the words faith and religion. People of faith, I'm a person of faith, and they always mean Christianity, maybe sometimes Judaism. And that's
why on the show we often refer to ourselves as witches of faith, because we want to reclaim that.
Right.
I also think that part of the equation is that witches of different paths, there can be a lot of separation between us, you know, like if you're Wiccan, if you are a Norse pagan, if you are a Hellenic pagan, sometimes you don't always see the common ground between each other. However, I think it's really important for all witches to remember that Christian nationalists, they are not making that distinction about us.
No.
We are all evil witches of Satan in their eyes, and so I think that all of us need to support each other along, I don't know if not necessarily our personal journeys, but if we see another witch needing help, we need to support that witch.
Yeah, remember that, like, there is a long seed of activism that runs through being a witch and witchcraft. And, you know, we protested during second wave feminism. You know, we've had organizations like Witch. We have a history of claiming and owning in a public way and using it for political means, pressure, and representation. Because I'll tell you, famously, in that organization, when we first learned about it, I was like, oh, cool. And then it was like, oh, yeah, witch acronym. And then it was just fun. I was like, oh, okay. And then I found out, well, actually, most of them were still all witches, though. And then you're like, oh, okay, great. Like, awesome. Because, you know, you get excited, and then you're like, oh, they just were using the image. Okay. Like, you get bummed. You're like, oh, okay. And then, but no, most of them actually were witches. And that's the way they came up with the concept. And they were like, and we will use this image as a symbol. But most of us are also because we're witches. Right. And we want it to mean something because it's power. And there is a justification in history, I think, a precedent to get back to that, and I think we need to.
Absolutely.
So I guess that is because we should
hop
out of here.
We should wrap it up.
We wanted to just leave you guys with, but leave that with you guys. It's like we have a history of fighting back. So you guys have a good rest of your time. Bless the HEKA-TEA Festival. Thank you for being here and engaging with us. And
thank you so much.
It's just wonderful. All of your thoughts and stories and sharing is confirmed exactly like I said. Like everything's like, this is exactly why. Yes. This is exactly why.
Exactly.
So thank you so much. And your cloak is amazing, by the way. So then it was time for the main event. We went and got ready for the big gala award ceremony in which the Reverend Selena Fox, among many others, were being honored and awarded that night. And it turns out, so were we.
Indeed. We were very pleasantly surprised to be included.
And Anna bailed me out so many weekends. She spent weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend at the metaphysical market, making us money and getting us by so that we could be okay financially and we could get this project off the ground. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Daryl Anderson is an unsung hero that just shows up with a whole bunch of food. He just comes and cuts your grass. He just comes and fixes a broken window. He shows up with crafts, land. I think he's got beef on the way. He helps financially when things are difficult. He really works hard and wood. We could burn a house down and not burn all the wood we have there. Thank you so much for all the hard work. Evan and Marcus, you two these two do Spelling the Hekate, and it is a morning show, and it is a delight. It is what paganism needs. It enriches our culture. We have so much to offer the world, but it takes getting up every day and doing it to get it out there, and we know how hard that is, and we are grateful, but yes. So these are ATC pins.
Oh, thank you.
And we know how much you have promoted this festival and how you have really put your heart in it. And we just love you and we embrace you and we want you to be our press every time.
We would be honored. That would be
So Ramsey makes it all possible. Dusty and I are getting older and we just can't carry heavy things anymore. And Ramsey loads the truck and he unloads the truck. And he carries things and he helps us set up. He's there all day and he's now coming and he spends his weekends doing it over and over again. And I'm really grateful for you. Thank you.
And then after the award ceremony, we had the opportunity to speak with Selena and with Manny from the Wild Hunt. So, gala is over for this year's Hekate Sickle Festival. Mm-hmm. You just received your award. How does that feel?
Interesting. I've never really been one for the recognition part of things. Like, people be like, oh, there's all this incentive, and I was like, that's great. I just like doing the work for it. The ring I knew I was getting because of just the pledges and whatnot. I did not realize it had been 5 years.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
been part of the ATC and all that, so that was
Time
one of
moves
those-
fast, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's a nice moment. You can kind of look back on the the memories that you've had that were all fun and enjoying the work that you do, and reflect on the lessons that you've learned, and just kind of realize the length you've come when it comes to the work that you do, and how, I guess for us, we get out of it as much as we give into it a lot. So all of the time when people are like, oh, well, thank you so much for doing this, thank you so much for sacrificing this, in the end it's like, I'm gaining from this so much in the way of lessons and growth and just the experience of the magic of the festivals and what have you. So for me, it's a joy.
The pleasure's in serving.
Absolutely.
That is an amazing, amazing thing. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We want to let you get back to your evening.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the Vessel Off ceremony.
Yes,
It'll be exciting.
exactly.
Yeah.
That'll be very exciting.
Yeah. Well, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Oh, first and foremost, the Wild Hunt. How long have you actually been with the Wild Hunt?
I have no idea. I have to think about it. Let me think about that. So 2014, Heather Green, who was a former editor of The Wild Hunt, recruited me. And she recruited me on an elevator in Pantheacon. So we were going up and she says, oh, you need to write for us. And I was like, okay. And then that's how it started. And so I became a regular columnist. And then later on, I helped with the financials, supporting Heather in her leadership. And then in 2018, became the managing editor-in-chief of The Wild Hunt.
Well, I can tell you right now, your reporting is impeccable. You are one of my favorite journalists, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So, because on our show, like I said, it's very... Witchcraft in the news is very important. Like I scour my Google alerts, has any ping I can think of that's related to the left-hand path, and I have to sort through, hundreds of things. And I'm always overjoyed when you pop up, because I get detail and nuance, and on where other articles just briefly mention what happened, you're like, no, this is what happened, this is what was said, here's the footage. Like, it's very powerful what you do and the reporting that you do, and it's very appreciated.
We greatly appreciate those comments. The entire team does, because we work tremendously hard to make sure that each article is relevant to our community. And as you already know, that as you set up those Google alerts, and for those of you who are watching right now, there are hundreds and hundreds
all the time,
of them. And sometimes
3-4 times a day.
And no shade on Cosmo or something like that, but it's like someone did a spell on someone else, and so you end up having a lot of material that is relevant because it puts issues of witchcraft out there, but it's not really relevant to our community.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then in addition to that, the tremendous amount of hate mail that appears as a result of those is also out there.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And so we sort that as much as we can, and that's only in one tradition. That's only in one tradition that is broadly witchcraft. But when you add druidry or other things, it becomes very overwhelming. Right, or so Lukumi or any of the African traditional religions, they're also in there. And what happens is also that I'm sure you experience is that you put druid out there and you learn a lot about Dungeons and Dragons. Right? And so what's going on? So it requires that kind of sorting, and our team does it, and we bring something every day.
It's crazy some of the things that, because I put in a hashtag, I'm like, oh, this says only relevant stuff will pop up, and then the most irrelevant crap shit.
Right.
And I'm like, what?
Right.
So totally. Also,
so we appreciate you looking at that, because having more, we have a lot of people who send us tips, but the reality is that more of us doing the same thing is extremely important.
It is.
Because it's a community that needs to get informed.
Because on the right and on the Christian right and the nationalist right now, they have a platform never before seen.
That's right.
And shows like us on that side have huge support and funding behind them that really push them.
That's right.
And they have that publicity behind it, where their reach is so insane, and they have multiple voice boxes doing this, and so it's being amplified. And on our end, it's very minuscule. So the more people you have saying the same shit in different ways and creating different aesthetics and different ideas of how to present that information, so it becomes varietal and interesting for so many people that they're like, oh, here's 15 videos on the same subject, but every way it's presented and point of view is going to be different. So that person watches all of them, and it's amplifying that kind of reach, and it happens by people just amplifying the same message over and over again.
And two things are happening in that space as well that you may know already, but many people may not. That first of all, there's a phenomenon, I know this sounds very businessy, but it's a phenomenon called lateral diversification. And that's where you have one company that actually owns many other companies, and you don't know that they're all related, right? And so there are places that are actually owned by Christian conservatives.
Yes.
And so there's that. The other piece that's there is that there are many sites that seem to be non-Christian conservative, but actually they are. When you look behind them, you got to do a little digging. You find that, and then they tell us, they give you movie reviews, for example, and they give you advice on how to run your family. But then they throw in very subtle things like, well, we're watching this movie, and all of a sudden they mentioned this magic ring, which is of course witchcraft, and if you watch it, that's Satanism, and your children are going to hell.
Right. And now here's the sourdough
and you will be able to watch them go to hell, but that's on you, right? And so then it freaks people out, and then it affects our community.
Exactly.
And as you say, that voices get amplified. As one site does it, another site will do it, and so they're reaching millions of people, and we have the opportunity to reach our community that explains how that's happening, and also how we protect each other.
Exactly. Also, Your fit's incredible.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Loving this. And you really stepped it in tonight.
Well, thank you.
And just thank you so much for everything you do and continue to do, please. And if you are not following The Wild Hunt, be on The Wild Hunt. You need to subscribe now.
Wildhunt.org.
Yes. Now.
Right now.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Thank you.
Such an honor. You are, as I have already said repeatedly to this woman 1,000 times already this weekend, you are an icon in this community. And your reach and what you did for so many young kids to see you back in the day on the talk shows, to see you on like people like Larry King, to be talking in a space that if you're sitting in the living room with your conservative family, and then suddenly there you were, it opened up a whole other door where you secretly like, don't change the channel, please don't change the channel. And you were a gateway to so many for Wicca and neo-paganism. I believe Goddess Communion, I believe was the title of the book.
Yes.
That was the first one I read of yours. It was a very impactful book, so just thank you for writing it. What is it like after all these years to have such a astounding career? I wasn't going to say behind you because it's not over, but in a sense, author to author, a career behind you that you can look back on and see that. What is that like for you at this point in your life to see all that you've done since?
Well, this has given me a real opportunity, getting this Lifetime Achievement Award, to do some reflecting back where I've been and where nature people have been, where the craft, where paganism has been over time. And I'm so thankful to be able to continue to do the work. I remember starting a television show in the 1970s. So in addition to being
I've seen clips of them.
So in addition to being interviewed and going on national media, local media, even global media back during those times, it seemed to me that it was important for us to have our own media.
Yes.
So I started with radio, the Circle Magic Show, which was a weekly show on listener-sponsored radio in Madison, Wisconsin, WORT.
I believe some of them you can find on YouTube, actually.
So I did Circle Magic, and then an opportunity happened with listener-sponsored and viewer-sponsored television. So I did the Magic Circle Show, an hour-long show every week, and yes, connecting with different pagan traditions, but also looking at consciousness, looking at environment, looking at wellness, and having a platform to really have conversations about that, and to open up awareness of the many things happening. And in the 20-teens, 2011, started doing podcasting. So I've continued with radio, and yes, I'm so glad you all are doing YouTube, because that's another way of helping to do education and networking and connecting.
And that's our goal, is we want to inform and educate and just make sure that there's still a sense of understanding and responsibility and knowledge behind what we're doing, what we're saying, and not just being like, well, this looks cool, and having no even inkling or desire to learn about why or the history behind it. And I wanted to say, I noticed that you and Starfire were really the two that were the most, I would say, vocally environmentally spoken, especially in terms of Mother Earth, Gaia. You're actually, they blame you. The Christians blamed you back in 1990 for the modern environmentalist Gaia movement.
Well, in
Mother Earth, Earth Day.
1970, the very first Earth Day, and I was one of hundreds of people that responded to the call by Senator Gaylord Nelson, a U.S. Senator from Wisconsin. He was actually a governor of Wisconsin as well, to have teach-ins about the environment. So I was an undergraduate at the College of William & Mary in Virginia, helped organize Earth Day in 1970, have been organizing and speaking at Earth Day events ever since. And in 1990, that was a 20th anniversary celebration of Earth Day. But one of the great things about Earth Day was that then it truly went global.
It did,
In 1970, it was not only on college campuses, but in some communities, and the focus was education. But in 1990, around the world. And that work still needs to continue,
It does.
especially now.
Yes.
And to me, the idea of being in harmony with nature includes respecting nature and living sustainably.
Absolutely.
And I am so thankful that we have the cyber ways of doing education. So I invite people, in addition to being on the screen, take some time to get into the green. Because we need that not only to sustain us and improve our health and well-being, but to help us really tune in to what is happening locally and globally and be part of the solutions instead of the pollutions.
Exactly.
And so to me, that has been interwoven within nature religions, nature spirituality since the earliest of times.
Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much,
for all of your time. We'll let you get back in. Do you have any other questions for her?
No questions, but just as we wrap up, I just wanted to say what a dream come true it is to be standing here and speaking with you.
Well, and I'm so delighted that you all are doing your show and having many voices and having conversations about important issues. So many thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, many blessings.
You two have a wonderful day.
Okay.
And now it's time for
Witchy Media Review, Hekate Sickle Festival Edition, where we had the pleasure of interviewing Tiari Valoria, who is a really famous occult, witchy-specific dancer, performer, and theater performer who travels all over the world performing sacred dance and puts on a witch's ball every Samhain. And we had the pleasure of not only seeing her perform, but also interviewing her not once, but twice. Please state your name.
My name is Tiari Valoria.
And what do you do?
I teach dance and magic and bridge the world between the two.
How long have you been in dance? Professionally or even just passionately?
I've been a dancer my entire life. As a professional, I started dancing about almost 20 years ago. I started teaching in 2010, and so I've been teaching regularly and performing as a professional solidly for the past 15 years.
And when did you first feel the call to the goddess to witchcraft?
I was born a witch, and I was raised by a very spiritual mother who graced me with the experience of being able to be exposed to various spiritual traditions, primarily Tibetan Buddhism.
Oh, okay.
And so I really got a nice, clear understanding about how magic works through Tibetan mysticism, but I had been studying Wicca and witchcraft since I was a little girl. But it wasn't until the pandemic hit that Hekate came to me and really...
As she often will in times of...
times of darkness,
Yeah.
yes. And so she was my guide through the underworld, and I really connected with her finally. And I felt her coming for years, but then she fully arrived, and I was never the same after that. It's just been all about her ever since.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, and just really quick, what was your workshop about?
My workshop today was about the magic of the dance, and so we only have an hour to work with, and I go really in depth with symbolism. I also teach my format. Traditionally, my format is called elemental fusion, where I teach embodiment techniques for harnessing the elementals through various mudras and meditations, and then we embody those elementals through the dance. So today, since we only had an hour to work with, I took everyone on a little vision quest and journey, breathing like the world tree, and connecting with that, and then igniting the witch flame within.
Oh, okay.
And then the dance that we did was inspired by the elements of earth and fire.
What? Yes, I have both in my...
Oh yes, me too.
I need to have my main threes. That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I assume are you gonna be performing later?
I will, yes, right before the vampire ball.
Well, we will definitely,
be there for that.
Be there for that.
Yes. We finally got to see you perform. Fucking
Oh my gosh,
incredible.
iconic, wonderful.
We got it all. Like, blown away. I was like fighting with the charger, been a whole nightmare. And then I was like, oh fuck, she's performing. Like, and did not disappoint. And it was very moving and powerful and rageful. Like, it was very fuck shit up. Like, it was very don't fuck with me. Like, removing of obstacles. You know, it was good. It was good.
Thank you so much. That was definitely the goal. So
good. Well,
glad to hear that. We interpreted it correctly. Yes,
it was palpable. It was palpable.
Very stunning.
Your look is on point.
Yes.
It is amazing. And we love to talk about fashion.
We do. We talk about it on the show all the time.
We love especially when it crosses with witchcraft.
Exactly.
We get a nice high fashion witchy aesthetic going, which is what we're seeing right now all over the runways. We've done 2 episodes now. We've talked about both spring and fall, winter, where it's just witchcraft everywhere right now in terms of fashion. Did you do this yourself?
I did do this myself for the most part. There are some pieces. So I got the vest and this undergarment from the Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I dance once a year with Seraphim Arabesque.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
On the Gypsy Caravans.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, and so I've been building a little bit of my Renaissance ensemble. Via that channel. And then this lovely thing I got from a shop that every witch in the Pacific Northwest should know about. It's called Femme Fatale. And it is one of the most magical witchy shops you will ever see. It's in Newport, of all places.
Okay.
Wow.
And it is a destination. It's like you've walked into the dream Addams Family house.
Wow.
Got it.
Yes.
Newport, Oregon?
Yes, Newport,
Wow.
Oregon.
Oh my
Go to
God.
Femme Fatale. And then everything else. So this
I'm living
this
for
is
Shane's
made
body.
by my friend
Wonderful.
Baron Ebner of Corbin Art. I made this, and I made the headpiece, and everything I was wearing yesterday, I made.
And that, that look was, oh my God, on fire last night. Your looks have been on fire. And as very fashion conscious witches, thank you for what you are bringing when you are out there presenting for the community, because we need to see, we're seeing a lot of it now on Drag Race with a lot of the queens.
Yes, I'm so inspired by Drag Race. So for me, I'm not sure how many witches here know this about me, but this is one of my missions in life, is to give, especially magicians, magical people, witches, an opportunity and a reason to step up their game.
Yes,
And so
yes.
I produce the annual Witches Ball of the West in Portland, Oregon.
Wow.
And for the past 3 years, we did it at the Star Theater, and we've
We
officially
do.
outgrown the venue. So we're going to be at the Nova PDX next year.
Wow.
It happens in October, and it's a big deal. We do a full triumph of the witches, by the witches, for the witches.
Oh my God.
And a curated witch market called the Eldritch Night Market.
Love focusing on
Live
witchy
music.
vendors.
And
Love spotlighting vendors all the time.
and the music is very geared towards witch house.
Yes,
So-
fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck
that
yes,
is a vibe.
yes, oh my God, yes.
Yes, that is everything we're about, what we're trying to put out as well. Yeah.
If you were to sit down and just watch one of our shows, like, you're like, oh, this is, that's their aesthetic. Like, it's exactly, yes. Oh my God,
Yes, you have to come.
Yes.
And so I also just wanted to speak to the theater company, my theater company, Valorian Theater. We orchestrate the Triumph of the Witches every year. And we're a ritual theater company that I founded in 2018. We've been going strong ever since.
Amazing.
And so what we do is we work with my format that I wrote years and years ago, that I used to refer to as the Temple Tableau format. It's now just the Anamara format. Anamara is my online school for dance and practical magic, for harnessing the qualities, calling in and embodying the goddess and the elementals through your dance practice. And so Valorian Theater is the tribe, the group of dancers that embodies this format with me every year.
That is amazing.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for putting that out into the world.
So you can find me online.
Yes, how can people find you?
I'm Tiari Valoria online, and my website for Anamara is anamara.life, and you can learn all about me there and Valorian Theater and my production company, Atrium Mystique.
And we'll have that as all right here. You guys can write that down.
there.
That here.
Yep.
Well, again, it has been a magical fucking pleasure to meet you. Like,
Same.
you are
Oh
an
my God,
icon.
same.
Like, we were talking about, we talked about yesterday how much, like, you are so, you're just iconic. Like, you are on point. Just so on point.
Well,
like,
I fell in love
thank
with both of you.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
glad.
thank you. And we hope that you will, again, have us at your Triumph with the Witches
Come
in
to the Witches
October.
Ball.
Yes,
The Witches
we would
Ball. We
love
would
to come
love
to the
to.
Witches
We're all
Ball.
about Witches Ball. We would icon, check her out.
Yes,
Thank you so
absolutely.
very much. And yes, after all this is fun for the evening. Let's fucking, yes.
Thank you for spilling tea.
Oh, always fun to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Hugs. All right, we'll connect later.
Yeah, it was such a pleasure to speak with Tiari and to meet her, to learn about her her dancing and her profession and what it is that she does. She was just also a very warm and wonderful person. I loved her costumes and just her festival fashion in general. She was really wonderful. She was also such a pleasure to watch dance and to watch her embody the goddess. I cannot wait to get to know her better and see more of her dancing in her theater. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and give her a resounding full moon.
1,000% super moon, glow and bright. She was incredible
She
and
was.
powerful. And just her fashion was just, oh my God, like she was like, she came right out of, she was one of the brides from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes.
Well, excuse me, Francis Ford Coppola's
Yes.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Specifically Monica Bellucci.
Oh yeah, I could see that for her.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And she was just the kindest, sweetest, coolest person.
She really was. She was
And,
wonderful.
Yeah, super full moon. You guys, if you're not familiar with her, check out her socials. She gave them an interview. Follow her, watch her, support her theater, and get her out there. Like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. That is the best way to help us, especially in this time and with suppression algorithm, to continue to build our beautiful, baneful, and blessed coven right here in our corner of the circle. And as we like to say, always remember, witches, broomsticks, not just for cleaning.